Hey guys, I have an old art journal page I found in my computer. It's from when Michaels did that whole line with Finnabair, which was what, 2 years ago, maybe even. So that's when this is from. So I'm starting out with the Sparks acrylic paint in let's see. We got Butterfly Spells, Unicorn's Hair, and Mermaid Sparkle. And my book I'm working on is watercolor paper that I covered with gesso, and then I also took like a scripty kind of stencil and texture paste and just applied that stenciling, like concentrating it in the center. So what I'm going to do is just go in with all three colors and kind of like color block them out. And I'm not washing my brush in between each color like every time I do a color switch, but I am sometimes wiping it on a paper towel so it doesn't get too muddy. And I mean, they mix a little bit between where they meet, but it's pretty color blocky. So then once I have everything colored the way I want it, I'm going to go in with a second layer, and I didn't take it all the way to the edge. Sorry guys, I didn't take it all the way to the edge because I'm going to work that out in a bit. So, I'm going to take my Dino Wakley Media white gesso and a palette knife, and I'm going to apply the gesso to the edges and bring it in with my palette knife to obscure that edge. And I'm going to use my palette knife to kind of like, I'm kind of holding it like parallel to the page and scraping it so I get that kind of like organic shape that you get by doing it that way. I'm also going to run a little bit over some of the words to highlight them a little bit. And then once that's all dry, I'm going to work on my composition. So I'm starting out with a circle I cut from vintage sheet music, and I'm going to use my glossy accents to glue that down because it is a bit textured in the background, and I want to make sure that sticks really well. I also have some of these wildflower die cuts from Tim Holtz, and it's just white cardstock. And then I also have some ephemera pieces from, I think it's the Tim Holtz, I think it's called Botanical Ephemera. They're just like some daisies, and then at the bottom I have like a swag of like, is it swag? Swag or swag? I I don't know. One of those little loopy things of flowers. So the, oh, I'm also going to add a butterfly from that same ephemera pack, and these pieces have like a white border around them, so I'm just going to trim that off. I also have a metal piece from Finnabair that I covered with a layer of gesso, and my little chick there is from the paper dolls. Is that what they're called? Paper dolls? Gosh, it's been so long. I forget half the names of everything. So to add a little dimension to her, I'm going to pop her up on some fun foam, you know, the kids' fun foam. And that is my cheap little secret to not buying expensive foam tape. Just get the kids' fun foam. And you can get it where it's adhesive on one side, and then you just need to glue the other side. So I also put some of that fun foam on my little thingy-majig of flowers down at the bottom. And then I'm going to add some real, well, not real, quote-unquote real, dimensional flowers down at the bottom. They're just those like paper flowers. I got them in 2 different sizes from Michaels. And I think every single thing on this page, other than the gesso and that Finnabair piece, I got from Michaels. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put my flowers around till I'm happy with the way they look, and I just glued those down with glossy accents as well. And the metal piece with the glossy accents, that is my favorite glue. And people say all the time about how pricey it is, but really a little bit goes a long way. And I really don't use that much of it. So I'm also going to take some of those same Sparks paints and apply them to my flowers to add a little bit of color to them. And then I'm going to take my Finnabair art stones, mini art stones, and just art stones. And I don't remember if I got these from Michaels or not. But at any rate, they don't have them anymore because this was 2 years ago. Oh, geez. Okay. So, I'm just going to take my gel medium on my paintbrush and add those art stones around the flowers. And I just take my paintbrush with the gel medium on it and dip it right in my art stones. I'm not worried about it messing up the container or anything. It's really not that serious. It's not that much glue that it's going to mess anything up in there. So I'm just going to put those around till I'm happy, and then add some of these Tim Holtz clippings. And what does it say? She dreamed beautiful dreams in the garden. Oh, there you go. Makes sense. She's in the garden. So I'm going to glue those down with my glossy accents, even though they're sticky. I just want to make sure they stay put. This page actually was cut out and put on the cover of one of my hand-glued journals, and it now lives with somebody else. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone's staying safe and sane, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, guys.